Hey guys, so we're at the lake today. We're going to be attempting to fix this Undermount sink. As you can see, it is separated completely. The contractor who installed it, or so-called handyman, I don't know if you can really call him that, did a pretty bad job. You can see he even installed a brace on it. I guess he wasn't very confident with the install, so it is currently being held up just by this piece of wood. The epoxy on the edge just looks like it has failed and the blocks have fallen down. There's two still at the back, but they're not actually attached. Oh, sorry, I guess there's three back there. You can see there's quite a bit of water damage and stuff going down, so we're going to attempt to get that sealed up properly. Okay, so first thing I did here was I wanted to lower the sink so we can clean all the silicone that is supposed to be around the top out. So what I did, I just removed this piece of strapping that was holding it up on these braces, and this thing called the third arm I installed in there, and that basically jacks up the sink and supports it. Before, when this strapping fell out, it was literally just being supported by the drainage, which obviously is not what we want. We don't want to cause any more damage. So right now we have sunk the sink down so it's able to be cleaned around. So we're going to scrape out all of that silicone. We're just going to take a razor blade and clean it out that way. Okay, so basically what we're doing now is cleaning this side. There's a bunch of silicone in here from the previous time it was sealed, although it wasn't very good, so I'm using just a razor blade, and what we're doing is just scraping it off like so. And you're going to go all the way around until you get it all clean. You should be getting chunks like this off, and you want to make sure it's clean all the way around, so when we go to reseal it again, it'll have a proper seal. Okay, so we got all the caulking scraped out. Now what we're going to do is go around, just clean the rim so we can ensure that it is a good seal that we're going to have. You can see it's still being held up here by this third arm, supported, so it's not putting too much stress on the drainage here. This all cleaned up around the edge here. So now what we're going to do is put some caulking in it. So we're going to be quite generous with it. All the extra we can cut out later once it hardens. So right now we got the sink pressed up. I put a bunch of silicone in there. So right now we're just have it jacked up. And we're going to get that silicone to seal in there. So I wiped up all the excess. There was quite a bit of silicone, so it had a nice seal. Wipe that up so when it hardens it's not going to ruin the sink. Any additional you can scrape off once it hardens on there. So right now you can see we got the third arm jacking up, supporting the sink. That's pushing that up there. While that's going, we are going to set up these clips. So basically what we're going to do is push them up in here. That top is going to sit right on the flange of the sink, and we're going to tighten these in here. So what we're going to do is push them up there, and we're going to measure where this goes. Basically just take a pencil and make an outline where the screw holes are going to go so we can get those screws started, and that's where we're going to sit this. Once we do get this clip tightened in there, we're going to tighten this bolt. It looks like you just with an Allen key you can tighten it up to secure it in place. So we're going to do one on this side and one on the other side, and we're going to get those installed and we'll come back and see how we're doing. Here we just traced the outline of where those screw holes are going to be. We're just going to get those holes started so it's a little easier, so I don't have to try and balance the clip while trying to get those screws started in there. Once the holes are started, we can put the clip back up there and install it when it's a little easier to get those screws in the hole. Okay, so we got our bracket here installed. You can see it's going up and sitting right on the flange of the undermount sink right there. which is pushing it up further onto that countertop and hopefully getting an even tighter seal with that silicone. So as you can see, these clips come with an Allen key. This bolt down here, when you tighten this bolt, what it does is it pushes up on this post kind of coming up. You can even see it will move this bolt up, and basically this is just pushing it all up, putting more compression up on the sink, holding it tighter there. So you want to snug that up. Again, you don't want to go too tight. Same with that jack there. If you push too much, you could actually break the countertop. So you just kind of want to do it snug. Obviously enough to support the sink, but again, you don't want to over crank that. And so basically what we did on this side, we're going to do the same on this side, just so there's even support on both sides. Once we do that, we should be able to take this jack right out, and these clips should be able to support the weight of the sink. Important note here, when you go to install these clips, you need to make sure that this bottom bolt is loosened all the way down to the bottom. So that should be sitting at the bottom of the clip. Otherwise, when we go to tighten this, it won't be able to tighten any if it's already maxed out to the top setting like this. So you can see if I go to tighten the bolt any more past here, I'm not able to, as the bolt's maxed out. So again, this bolt needs to be sitting at the bottom of this hole in order for it to be tightened anymore. So just an important note to remember when installing these. You need to loosen before you take your measurement and have this sitting at the bottom of the metal bracket. On this side, measured those holes, then just did a quick pre-drill just so we can get those screws started a lot easier, and we'll be able to install the bracket on this side as well. Okay, so we got our other bracket installed here, got the screws in. So we can see this one's resting right up on the flange of the sink as well. And so we are going to go ahead and tighten this just like the last one. So you can start off just tighten it. You can see how it's starting to press up against that bolt. So it comes with an Allen key here. I'm just going to tighten that up. So like we said on the other one, not too tight that you're pressing too much against that countertop. Just want it to be nice and snug like that. You can see how it pressed right up against that bolt. Now this is all solid in here. That will be taking the weight of the sink. Okay, so we got both of those clips installed here. So the next step we're going to do is to remove the third arm. So there's this piece here on the side. We just lift that up and it sinks down. Just compress that. Pull it out of here. And look at that, the sink is still holding. Everything looks good. Still sealed around the edges here, and it's being supported by those clips. And so hopefully now it will hold. So all the tools that we need to make this undermount sink repair. These are everything I will be using here. So to start off, we have the third hand. That's going to be a jack to support the sink, so it doesn't completely collapse while we're working. We have the actual hardware here itself, the clips that we're going to be using, an Allen key to adjust the tightness on those clips, some screws, obviously to install those. You're going to need a razor blade just to remove the old silicone, screwdriver, a drill, with bits to just get the holes started for the screws and then to install the screws, and some silicone to seal up that sink to the counter. So it's a pretty simple install. It only took probably less than an hour of all the work combined. So yeah, that's this is all you need here. So it's a pretty simple job.